After the age of 65, many people develop a daily routine that feels completely harmless, even helpful, but it may actually be one of the hidden reasons behind increasing weakness. It is a common behavior that almost everyone does without thinking. It becomes part of everyday life, repeated automatically for years. The surprising part is this. Most seniors don't realize they are doing it. Because there is no immediate pain or obvious problem, this habit goes unnoticed. It feels normal, safe, and familiar, so it is never questioned. But slowly, over time, the body begins to respond differently. Energy levels drop, muscles feel less active, and movement starts to require more effort than before. What makes this even more concerning is that the habit itself does not look harmful. In fact, it often feels like rest or comfort. This is why it continues for so long without correction. The real danger is not what happens in a single day, but what happens when this behavior is repeated daily for months and years. And that raises an important question. Could something so normal actually be quietly making the body weaker over time? The reason this habit continues for so long is simple: it feels completely harmless. In fact, for most seniors, it feels like the most natural thing to do. It provides comfort, reduces effort, and feels like the right way to manage daily energy. Because of this, there is no reason to question it. Another powerful factor is the mindset. I've always done this. When something has been part of your routine for years, it starts to feel safe. The brain becomes used to it, and it no longer feels like a choice. It feels like normal life. This creates a strong sense of familiarity. And anything familiar is rarely seen as a problem. That is why even when small signs of weakness appear, they are not connected to this habit. Instead, they are simply accepted as aging. But this is where the misunderstanding begins. Just because something feels comfortable does not mean it is helping the body. Sometimes, comfort can slowly reduce activity without being noticed. And when that happens every day, the effects build quietly over time, without any obvious warning. One of the most noticeable effects of this hidden habit is gradual muscle weakness, mainly caused by long-term inactivity. When the body is not used regularly through movement, the muscles slowly become less active. They are not being challenged, so they start to lose strength over time. This does not happen suddenly. It builds very slowly, which makes it easy to ignore. Simple activities that once felt easy may start to require more effort. Standing up, walking, or lifting even light objects can begin to feel heavier than before. The key issue is not age alone. It is how much the body is being used on a daily basis. Muscles are designed to stay active. When they are not engaged enough, they gradually weaken. This is a natural response of the body to reduced activity. What makes this even more important is that the process is silent. There is no sharp pain or warning sign in the beginning. Instead, strength fades slowly over time. In simple terms, less movement leads to less muscle activity, and less muscle activity leads to weakness, creating a cycle that continues unless it is corrected with regular, gentle activity. Along with muscle weakness, another common effect is a noticeable drop in daily energy levels. As the body becomes less active, it starts producing and using energy less efficiently. This can lead to a constant feeling of fatigue, even during simple activities that used to feel easy. Tasks like walking short distances, standing for a while, or doing basic household work may begin to feel more tiring than before. The important point is that this is not just normal tiredness. It is often linked to reduced physical activity and lower muscle engagement over time. When the body moves less, it also becomes less energized. This creates a cycle where low activity leads to low energy, and low energy leads to even less activity. In simple terms, the body starts slowing down gradually, not because of sudden illness, but because of consistent inactivity that affects overall energy production and stamina. Another important effect of this habit is a gradual increase in balance issues. As muscles weaken and activity decreases, the body's ability to stay stable begins to decline. Movements that require coordination, like walking, turning, or standing for longer periods, may start to feel less steady. This can lead to a sense of instability, where the body does not feel fully in control during movement. Because this change happens slowly, it is often ignored at first. But over time, It can affect confidence and make everyday movement feel uncertain. The body relies on regular activity to maintain balance and coordination. When movement is reduced, these systems become less responsive. In simple terms, less activity leads to weaker support, and weaker support leads to reduced stability. That is why maintaining regular movement is important for keeping balance steady and movement safe in daily life. One of the biggest reasons this hidden weakness develops is something known as the comfort trap, spending too much time sitting or resting throughout the day. After 65, many people naturally prefer comfort. Sitting for longer periods feels easier, and resting more often seems like the safest choice. While rest is important, too much of it can slowly reduce the body's natural activity levels. When the body stays in one position for too long, muscles are not properly engaged. Over time, this leads to reduced strength, stiffness, and slower movement. The problem is that this change does not feel sudden. In fact, it often feels comfortable and relaxing, which makes it harder to notice any negative effect. But the body is designed for regular movement. When movement decreases and sitting increases, physical systems begin to slow down gradually. This is how the comfort trap works. It does not feel harmful at first, but it slowly reduces strength and energy over time. In simple terms, too much comfort can quietly turn into reduced activity, and reduced activity eventually leads to weakness if not balanced with regular movement. Another major reason this problem continues is lack of awareness and proper guidance. Most seniors are never clearly told how daily habits affect strength, energy, and mobility over time. Without this understanding, it becomes difficult to recognize what is helping the body and what is slowly harming it. In the absence of guidance, people simply continue doing what feels familiar and comfortable. There is no clear signal that something needs to change, so routines remain the same for years. This is where the problem becomes silent. Because when no one explains the impact of inactivity or excessive rest, the body's gradual changes are often misunderstood as normal aging. As a result, important small adjustments in lifestyle are never made. Over time, this lack of awareness allows weak habits to continue without correction. The body slowly adapts to lower activity levels and strength begins to decline without being noticed early. In simple terms, it is not just the habit itself, but the lack of knowledge about its effects that allows the problem to grow quietly over time. Awareness is the first step toward change, but without guidance, even simple improvements are often missed. The good news is that improving the situation does not require a complete lifestyle change. Instead, it starts with a small correction in daily habits. The key idea is not just to stop the harmful behavior, but to replace it with a better one. For example, instead of sitting for long, uninterrupted periods, you can introduce short moments of gentle movement. Even simple actions like standing up, stretching lightly, or walking a few steps can make a difference. These small changes help activate the muscles again and reduce the effects of long inactivity. What is important is awareness. Once you recognize that too much rest or sitting is affecting your strength, it becomes easier to make better choices throughout the day. The body responds well to small but consistent improvements. You don't need intense exercise or difficult routines, just regular, light activity that keeps the body engaged. In simple terms, replacing one small habit can slowly reverse the effects of inactivity. This is how progress begins, not through big efforts but through small, practical corrections done consistently over time. Improving daily strength and energy starts with adding simple movements into your routine. These do not need to be difficult or time-consuming. Small actions like gentle stretching, slow walking around the house, or light chair-based movements can be enough to keep the body active. The goal is to break long periods of stillness. Even a few minutes of movement at regular intervals can help activate muscles and improve circulation. What makes this approach effective is its simplicity. It fits easily into everyday life without creating pressure or discomfort. Instead of waiting for a specific time to exercise, you can naturally include movement throughout the day. In simple terms, a better routine is not about doing more, it is about moving more often in small, manageable ways. These simple movements help maintain strength, reduce stiffness, and support overall mobility in a gentle and sustainable way. The most important factor in reversing weakness and maintaining strength is daily consistency. Small changes or exercises will not create lasting results if they are done only occasionally. The body improves when it receives regular signals of movement and activity every day. Consistency allows the muscles to stay engaged, the joints to remain flexible, and energy levels to improve gradually over time. Even simple movements, when repeated daily, can create noticeable improvements in strength and mobility. The key is not intensity, but repetition. A light routine done every day is far more effective than a heavy routine done once in a while. Consistency also helps the body adapt without stress, making it easier to maintain progress long-term. In simple terms, daily habits are what shape long-term health. When movement becomes a regular part of life, the body naturally becomes stronger, more active, and more stable over time. When small daily habits are corrected and simple movements are done consistently, the body begins to respond with noticeable improvements over time. One of the first changes is that strength gradually returns. Muscles that were inactive start to become more engaged again, making daily movements feel easier and more controlled. Simple actions like standing up, walking, and changing positions no longer feel as difficult as before. The body starts to regain its ability to move with more confidence and less effort. Along with strength, overall physical comfort also improves. Stiffness reduces slowly, and movement feels smoother and more natural. These changes do not happen overnight, but they build steadily with regular practice. In simple terms, when the body is given the right kind of support through daily activity, it has the ability to recover strength, improve mobility, and restore a better quality of movement in everyday life. The final message is simple but important. What you do every day matters more than you think. Ignoring small habits may not feel harmful now, but over time, they can slowly reduce your strength and independence. That's why awareness is the first step, understanding what might be affecting your body without you realizing it. But awareness alone is not enough. It must be followed by action. Even